In the vibrant town of Kamari, Alma grew up surrounded by the warmth of family and friends. She was a woman of deep culture with strong roots in her heritage. At 28, she was engaged to Kofi, a man she had known since childhood. Their families had arranged the engagement, and though Alma had love for Kofi, there was always a quiet restlessness within her. She dreamed of seeing the world, experiencing life beyond the familiar rhythms of her village. When an opportunity to study abroad in France came her way, it felt like a sign. Kofi was supportive but hesitant. It will only be for 2 years, she promised him before leaving. I'll come back, and we'll get married just as we planned. Alma arrived in Paris, a city that felt worlds away from the sun-baked streets of Accra. The first months were overwhelming learning the language, adjusting to the fast-paced life, and navigating a society that often seemed distant and cold. Yet, Alma was determined. She immersed herself in her studies, trying to stay connected with her fiancé back home through phone calls and letters. It was during her second year in Paris that she met Pierre, a kind and charming Frenchman. Pierre was different from anyone Alma had ever met, open-minded, adventurous, and deeply interested in her culture. What started as friendship soon grew into something more profound. Pierre introduced Alma to a side of herself she had never explored. They traveled through Europe, visited museums, and spent long evenings talking about their dreams. Alma found herself torn between 2 worlds. One was her past with Kofi, the man she was expected to marry, and the other was her present with Pierre, who showed her a new life full of possibilities. Kofi, still in Ghana, became frustrated. He noticed Alma's calls became less frequent, her letters shorter. He couldn't understand the changes in her, and Alma struggled with guilt. She still cared for Kofi deeply, but had begun to realize that the love she had for him was tied to obligation and familiarity, not passion or choice. As Alma's studies came to an end, she knew she had to make a decision. She could return to Ghana, marry Kofi, and settle into the life that had been mapped out for her. Or she could stay in Europe with Pierre, where the future was unknown but exciting. One evening, Pierre proposed to her at the glittering lights of the Eiffel Tower. He told her he was willing to travel with her to Ghana to understand her roots and to blend their worlds together. In that moment, Alma made a choice not because of pressure or tradition, but because of what her heart truly wanted. She called Kofi that night, and through tears, she explained the difficult decision she had made. Kofi was hurt, angry even, but in the end, he understood. I always wanted you to be happy, Alma, he said softly before ending the call. Months later, Alma and Pierre were married in a small, intimate ceremony in Paris, though her heart ached for her family and friends.